Eloise is really who the audience should relate to when they go into this film. She's young, she's just finished school, she grew up in the countryside, and she has dreams and she has ambitions, but she's still finding out who she is. And the one thing that's really important about Eloise is that she's obsessed with the 60s. She is very much desperate to be in London then. It was the centre of the universe. And when she comes to London, she comes here ready to live her dreams, and she finds that London isn't just what she thought it would be.
While it might seem strange to say there's personal things in it for me, because obviously I'm not an 18-year-old girl from Cornwall. Both myself and Krysty both have the experience of coming to London from outside the big city.
Suddenly you find yourself plunged into this big, throbbing metropolis, and it's frightening.
You know, you just feel like even people who are the same age as me are so many leagues ahead of me. I'm so out of place. I'm not cool enough. How can I possibly fit into this? What is the way into this city?
And action.
Even like having lived in London for 25 years, that imposter syndrome has never gone away. It was actually my producer, Naira Park, who was the first person who mentioned Thomasin McKenzie.
I'd never done a horror film or anything before, or any kind of scary story, thriller type thing.
I said, how old is she? And, you know, we figured out that she would be exactly 18 when we made the movie, which is exactly the same age as Eloise. She's not dissimilar to Eloise in terms of she's such a warm, empathetic, kind person. I guess when I met her, my first thought was that, oh my God, am I really going to put her through this story?
The only question I remember him asking was, is there anything you think you'd be scared or nervous about doing? And I was like, oh no, nothing, I think it's all good, which was the wrong answer, because there was like so much really intense stuff.
I'm so glad that she's in the movie, because you get to go on the journey with her, and there's something really powerful about casting somebody who's the same age as the character, because as Eloise is going from the country to London, Thomasin was also doing that by coming from New Zealand to London. Also, we're shooting in a lot of the real locations. So it's a very visceral experience for her, and Thomasin is one of those actresses who is incredibly naturalistic and wants to feel the experience as strongly as she can, so she really has to put herself in that mindset. I know this sounds crazy, but she's really able to be in the story.
Choreography and timing and everything always plays a big role in Edgar's films.
Thomasin hadn't done much dance before, but very up for it.
A real big challenge, just figuring out all the timing and when I did this movement and that movement and when I looked over that way, and also try to make it as natural and real as possible.
1, 2, 3, mark it.
Her first scene was actually her in her bedroom, which opens the whole film, and it was quite a lot for her at the beginning, but she really grabbed it. She was just wonderful to work with. It was very girly and playful and like a daydreamy girl, thinking about her future when she grows up.
Yeah, see you tomorrow! Check the gate.
My take on Ellie is that she's full of a lot of passion and energy and excitement, but she has a very insecure side to her, and that's a bit nervous and unsure. There's a bit of a juxtaposition between her really excited and passionate and determined side, and also she's got quite a dark side to her.
Eloise, post!
Ellie has a very small family. It's just her and her grandmother. Her mother has died, but she is sort of haunted by the absence of her mother. In a way, Ellie's mother is still alive for her.
Aye.
And that's how we really establish Ellie's gift.
We don't go into it in great detail, but there's obviously a strong connection to the past, which conjures up sort of extremely vivid experiences to her.
She's one of those people that's just connected.
Where are you going?
Initially, I had thought about Eloise going to art college, probably because I went to art college. But then it changed to fashion college, and partly because both Krysty's grandmother had a sort of background as a seamstress, and my mother also used to design clothes and do screen printing. That became the thing to focus on. We were lucky enough to shoot at the real London College of Fashion, and during the research of the movie, we interviewed a lot of fashion students. Fashion college, no disrespect to the London College of Fashion, but it feels like something that could be quite difficult to kind of get a foothold in.
We went in and had different lessons at London College of Fashion and St Martin's. We were all together, all of the actors, and all of us were just completely shocked by the level of, like, the pressure.
Just get some arnica on that, babes.
Well, I think he had a very specific idea about the gang, the four girls. Definitely the gang were a group of girls who were more obsessed with how they looked, whereas John and Ellie were the ones who were very serious. Her work was far more advanced than anybody else's work.
I hope you were all listening to that.
Something about the 60s.
Eloise, when she first comes in, she's even wearing something that she's made herself. And that to other students is a little bit intimidating.
I'm thinking we should call her brass balls, Ellie.
Both of them are highly skilled, whereas some of the other students are learning this fresh and don't have the same qualities or the same skills that they would have going into the school.
Cut that.
She is super, super passionate and has worked really hard to get where she is, and that she feels that some of the other students are taking that opportunity for granted.
Jocasta.
It's hard to describe her, like, in a nice way, because she's quite mean.
Exactly, babes.
She's very self-aware and wants to be very cool and wants to be wearing the right clothes and wants to be perceived as, like, the big name on campus. When there's so much hope and excitement of Eloise coming to London and going to fashion school, and then meeting me as, like, the final, like, oh God, this is not what I expected. I'm completely out of my depth. And maybe I'm not going to be that happy here.
Sandie and Ellie have a similar life story. I think they both started off with a lot of passion and determination. They both moved to London with big dreams and big hopes. At first, Sandie gives Ellie a lot of confidence and inspiration, and we start to see Ellie's more feminine, kind of grown-up side, maybe.
It really suits you. She feels like during the waking world she can put on the Sandie cloak and play out some of that confidence. But as the story goes on and Sandie gets darker and darker, I think the relationship becomes far more insidious. Sandie's starting to haunt her now, like she's not letting Eloise go.
You know where to find me.
It's been really wonderful to share scenes with Thomasin because I adore that girl. She's really lovely and we've built up a really nice sisterly bond.
Where's my Sandie?
It's a bit nerve-wracking when you know that you're gonna have to mirror somebody. It's only happened to me once before where somebody's so immediately in sync. We really have kind of watched each other and it came very naturally to do certain moves, and she's very generous whenever it's a Sandie sequence. She really lets me dictate the moves. I haven't had that many kissing scenes in my life, I'm not gonna lie. Kissing with somebody's terrified face like inches away from yours is certainly an experience. Kissing somebody in a phone booth with that same person staring back at you and pretending to be your reflection, also an experience.
Yeah, it is really weird. I just feel like a stalker. I feel like an absolute creep because all I'm doing is like watching. It's very strange. For me, it's been amazing working in London. Although there is a bad side, it is a magical city and there are really incredible people. This film crew is one of the nicest film crews I've ever worked with in my life.
You experience so much of the movie through her on every level that you needed somebody incredibly special to pull that off. And I was really impressed watching her, especially somebody of that age to have such skill. And to be in a movie where you're in every single scene, that's not easy to do. I was just sort of amazed at watching her essentially run this marathon by being in the movie.